We live. Welcome to another episode of Wealth is Gangster, man. I'm up in here with the ACRE boys. We already chopping it up behind the scenes, so I told them let's just press play and just go live, man. So thank you for coming on Wealth is Gangster. I want you to introduce yourself, and then we can go and feed into the conversation we had.
For sure.
For sure. I'm Ray. That's my partner.
I'm Jay, and together we make the ACRE Boys. So just brief a little background about myself. Started off, 9 to 5 employee. You know what I mean? Just working, trying to get to a dollar. Not making it to where I wanted to be at that point in time. So me and my partner started looking for information that was going to change, our financial future. You know what I mean? So after doing we used to wait for people to put us on at one point in time, but we said, you know what? Let's go ahead and take it into our own hands. Instead of waiting for somebody to come and get us, let's go ahead and put some other plans into motion. So that's where we started at from there.
Okay. You going to introduce yourself, or you just?
Oh, he kind of speak for both of us. We kind of the same narrative. Mitchell. I know you had mentioned while we were off the air live, you mentioned that you had came from the streets, and I got the same similar background of any other urban kid that come from a poverty-stricken neighborhood, grew up, had visions of being a music artist. I did well in the music industry. That game changed around 2000 once it came to the internet and everything became everybody became self-independent with the MySpaces and all of that. And then we just started looking for other things to do. I mean, after the music thing, that put me back into regular world, as I like to tell people. And regular world, I just didn't feel comfortable in. I don't like the concept of going to a job and working till you retire. They say the average age of a black man, and that stat may be different at this point, but at that point, the average age of a black man was life expectancy was 65, and they say you can retire. I know 68, and they say you can retire at 65. So when I started, hearing those kind of numbers, it just didn't really make sense to me that I'm going to stay here forever, retire, get a pension, and each year they'll pay me X amount of hundred each year. Even if I would have did that route, I would be 65 and making maybe $3,000-4,000 a year. Now, if that sounds sweet to you, then have at it. Enjoy it. If you like your job and you want to make $3,000-4,000 when you retire, or $5,000 when you retire, then have at it. I wanted more, and that's what we sought out to get.
Yeah, that's big. So what's your back? I mean, I know you said a little bit, but before you got into land, what were you doing? Were you you grew up in real estate? Did you grow up seeing people do this? How did you? What was you doing prior, and what got you into land flipping and land buying?
Okay, well, prior to this, we wore multiple hats. I'm gonna just start with myself first, right? I've been a mortgage broker, a garbage man. We've done the gamut of full different things, and all of it always led to the same thing, which is not controlling our future. All of it led to the same thing. I was involved in the market during when the mortgages were good, where you almost didn't need an appraisal to close a loan at that point in time when the mortgages were good. So the money was flowing good, but when the market turned, we needed to start looking for different things that worked a lot better for us as far as being able to control it ourselves, as far as being the one in position to make the calls ourselves, instead of being a part of an actual system. You know what I mean? So we chose to deinstitutionalize ourselves, you know what I mean, as we like to call it, and just go off on a tangent and started finding our own way. Prior to that was a little bit of the background. Prior to, we wore a lot of different hats. But go ahead.
I mean, and as for me, man, like, where do I start? As I stated, music was always a passion. I did really well with music. I was on Loud Records. I don't know if y'all remember Loud Records. I was in a group called IGT. We were over there for 3 years. And speaking of Texas, just dibbling dabbling with the music. I actually did a song and video with Trey the Truth, who I was fortunate to get on a feature. And I did well in the music industry as me going on an independent route. But it was slow. It's hard. I advise anybody that's involved in music, it's not about the music, it's more about the business. I had the sound of it. I had that down pack. I still have that down pack, but it was the business side of it that I was just young, never taught business. And that led me back in the streets. I dibbled and dabbled. You know, I've done some illegal things, some things that I ain't proud of. Yeah. And when I got tired of the system in the legal way kicking my ass, I decided to fly straight and get a job. And once I got that, I was doing stagehand work. I did that for 5 years, and you know, that was me using my back. And I'm a good worker, but I don't like using my back. Yeah. And me and him partnered up, and we've done some things. We started out trying to do what credit analysis was it?
It was we were about to open up a collection agency, buying old debt, you know, different things like that, and going after the people that still had the debt attached to them, you know, different things like that.
So we started there, but first and foremost, what I say about that is when you're fed up, right? See, when you get fed up, then you start to understand that I'm going to have to find a way to skip the line. And the easiest way that we found in skipping the line to get into some knowledge was by paying. So a lot of people don't like to pay. Yeah. And we found out, like, look, let's just pay for the information. And you can go to YouTube University, you'll learn a lot of jewels. But if you're really looking to get down to the source and the nitty gritty, you should probably pay. You know, like for even with us, and we'll get to that. I'm jumping the line a little bit, but even with the land business, so many people ask us, how do we do what we do in the land business? I can give you some free tips around land. I can tell you about easements, and I could tell you about different acreage and agricultural land and recreational land and things of that nature. Those are free tips. But if you're asking me, how do I go about getting my bottom line dollar? That's going to be a pay. You know, so you're going to have for my time, because my time is valuable. That's the one thing that we can't get back. And that's the one thing that I honor. So for that, that's going to be at a premium cost for that information, just as well as I paid. And I don't have a problem paying I don't want to learn. I don't want to spend 6 or 7 months trying to figure out something that you could teach me in 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, and something to add to that is just condensing time. You know, if someone is proven to you through fact that they've done what they were doing for 10 to 15 years and done it at a high level, what about if that person can condense 15 years into 6 months? You know, I can go ahead and try to figure out on my own. That's cool, but it's going to take you some time. You're going to lose a lot of money. It's going to be a lot of heartache. So we decided at that point to let's go ahead and go with some people that have already made the mistakes. They're going to make us pivot and avoid those mistakes. So that's what we did.
Man, and that's so big. And I mean, I've watched some of your videos. I even watched the live. And what I've seen come at y'all, the same thing that most black men in this space go through. You know what I'm saying? Like we run across a skill, we run across something that we can bring to the community. And the first thing is why y'all selling it. Well, why, you know, see the thing is, like, okay, like I follow like a Dr. BOYZZ, right? Mm-hmm. And Dr. BOYZZ will have a conference, and his VIP tickets will be $500, and people will be complaining about that. The regular general admission will be about $90, $100, or whatever. But then you can go to a Grand Cardone, and he has $20,000 seats that sell out in minutes, because our people don't value paying for the knowledge, paying for the game. We feel like we're supposed to get everything for free or everything for the cheap, and we don't realize that we spend so much money on stuff that'll get us nowhere. It don't make no sense.
That's for sure.
To not put it in there. So that's the thing that we have to, and that's something that part of once again, when I was talking about my youth, I teach my youth to value adding value to their life. You know, when you're adding skills and trades and your value is going up, quit worried about how much you get paid per hour and worry about how much knowledge and how much game you learning, because then your value going up. You know what I'm saying? So what y'all are doing, like I said, when I ran across you, I mean, I know some people, like I said, I own a couple of lots myself, like just some, you know what I'm saying, just some regular running across some stuff. But what y'all doing is so much needed. And it's a game that we don't talk about. We talk about more of the cute stuff, the flipping of the house, the flipping of this, because it's in style right now. It's this and that. But you can't have none of that. You can't have none of that without the land.
Yeah, house flipping, we call that the shiny stuff. And that's what it is. It is shiny. It's appealing to the eye. Land is not a sexy space, but it's very lucrative. And as you stated, land, you can't buy a house without having the land first. Land effectively was the first real estate transaction in America, was a piece of land. That's the first real estate transaction that was ever sold in America. I want to go back to that point that you made about the youth, because as I stated, you know, I deal with kids myself. I coach kids. and they don't get taught much about what to do with their money. You know, I watch some of my kids they come into practice with $200 and $300 sneakers on. And we put a post up today on Instagram that if you're not following us on Instagram, please do follow us at ACRE Boys. And that post was today is we bought a piece of land for $50.
Yeah, so I was gonna get to that. I was gonna ask you about that. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
So as opposed to you going out and buying a pair of Jordans for $200 and $300, that's 5 pieces of land that you could have potentially bought for $50. We bought hundreds of them. So I know this to be a fact. This is not something that I'm talking about that happened to me 1 time or 2 times. I'm saying I bought hundreds of these deals at $50. And we sold these deals. We turned around and sold them right from the comfort of our home from anywhere between $800 and $15 a piece. So it's cool to get the Jordans. I'm not against the Jordans. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that find something that's going to put you in position that you don't have to lean on your mother's dollar to get the Jordans or lean on the streets to get the Jordan. See, it's a book that me and him, we haven't gotten to the book yet, but we've been contemplating writing this book called Lose Your. Yes, it's called Lose Your Cool, right? Like lose your cool. Stop thinking that everything that you think is cool is probably not cool in all actuality. And once you realize that, it's nothing cool about risking your life. It's nothing cool about leaning on your mother's pocket. You know, I tell my younger brothers that, you know, once you get older, you have to take care of those that took care of you. That's like the life cycle to me. That's my opinion. Now, view it how you want to. And even if taking care of your mother may not mean, here, let me give you physical dollars. Sometimes just get out of her pocket. You understand what I'm saying? Let her have her own purse and go do some things that she may have wanted to do her whole life, but she had to take care of you. Just get out of her way. Start to be a little more independent when you start coming into the age of 17, 18, 19, 20. We got to start, you know, in the Jewish community, they have bar mitzvahs, and that they start grooming men at 13 to run businesses.
You're talking about language now. You're talking about language now.
That's for sure. And just to add to that, you know, then we're going to go back to what it always leads back to: environment. What are you surrounded by? If you're surrounded by a bunch of dudes that's selling drugs, most likely you're going to do the same thing. You're surrounded by a bunch of people that are businessmen, most likely you're going to do the same thing. So before you even learn like the tricks and trades, let's say like land or any specific thing that you're going into, you're going to need a reconditioning of the mind first. That's why mentors are so important. Mentors go ahead and give you the proof of concept to let you know that it's already been done, and it's been done by somebody that looks like you. So it takes all the excuses out of the way. You know what I mean? And that's part of like what you're doing, what we're doing is showing people that it is possible to get in front of people, talk intelligently, and know what you know. It's not being smart is cool. Understanding business is cool. You know what I mean? And that's one of the things that we've always said, and what we try to even preach to people. Listen, these are what we call industries that have always been hidden in plain sight. It's always been there. But when you don't know how to attach value to certain things, there's no way you can see the value in something. You can go right past a lot and say it's the whole big open land, but you don't see any value in it because you don't know anything about it.
You don't know what you're looking at.
Sure.
And I'm glad you said that, cool, because that's what I'm all about. We got to, like you said, getting away from the cool, but if we can't get from it, we got to redefine it. You know what I'm saying? So and that's what I'm saying. Like even with the gangster word, when I talk to people, you know, some pastors about, I don't know about the gangster. I'm like, we can argue with them all day of what not to be gangster, or we can simply tell them, okay, well, be this type of gangster. You know, whatever works to me is what matters. You know what I'm saying? If you don't like the word, okay, try your method. But to me, that method hasn't been working, because when I was young and I was in the streets and you told me not to do it, I did it more. You know what I'm saying? But if you'd have told me, okay, if you want to be real or this type of dude, won't you try this? Won't you try flipping land? Hey, I'd have did that. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't have that option. I didn't have that option where guys would flipping land on YouTube or outside of my door and they would give me the game. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't have that option. I was given a couple of these things or a couple of that thing and told me go get some money. I'm the oldest of 4 kids. It just only made sense to go do it. Sure. If I would have met you at that age and you'd have been like, say, man, you got $50, I can show you how to flip a piece of land. I'd have been like, oh yeah, man, let's do that. Then I would have been a land mogul then. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And your ROI on doing those is off the charts. You know what I mean? But one thing we always know is you can't take advantage of something that you don't know nothing about. That's just what it is. And so a lot of times our environment is
ACRE Boys. Instagram is at ACRE Boys. They keep asking, what's y'all Instagram? It's just spelled the same way I got it in the title.
Yep, 2 Z's. Yes, sir.
Yep, will it be one word? You know, Instagram.
Yes, they got it one word on Instagram. But it's love. They loving the content, man. So let's get into it, man. You know, I've been doing the research on y'all. So tell me your smallest deal and then your biggest deal. I think I know the biggest deal because I ran across that like last week, the 200 and something acres with the mansion on it. So I think that might be the biggest deal, but let's go back to your smallest deal first and then come back to that one.
Well, I mean, clearly our smallest deals, as we started in the tax deed space, our smallest deal has been, you know, to buy for 50, sell for 500. That's where we started at. Okay. That gave us some backing, some financial backing to move on to do bigger deals. And once we got to the bigger deals, in less than 3.5 years, we were able to scale up to multi-million-dollar deals. And up to this date, we own 10,000 square foot mansion in Mississippi that sits on 260 acres, and we bought that one for 3.4, and that one is listed currently now for 7.5.
Yeah, that's our biggest deal so far. That's the monster right there. That's our biggest one so far. You know what I mean? For sure. But on average, you know, on some of the smaller deals, just to give a little context, some of the smaller deals, we're usually around buying for 20, selling for about 80, 75, buying for 30, selling for about 90, 85, somewhere in there, just to give it some context if that number is too big for some people. You know what I mean?
And that ratio even better than like the house flipping, because I know people that flip houses might get 5,000, 8,000, 10,000, depending on the market. Sure. But a lot of a normal house flip is maybe $5,000, maybe $10,000, and you got to go through a lot of this and that. And so what's the different process? Is it more about the same when it comes to flipping a house and flipping a piece of land? What would you say the process is? It about the same amount of work, less work, more work?
I'll say okay. So this is what we do. This is the flipping without, because we're not dealing with sheetrock, we're not dealing with electrical, we're not dealing with roofing, we're not dealing with plumbing. Basically, what we do is we sell dirt. That's the thing. And now the contractor, whoever the person comes in and buys the lot from us, we are buying as is and selling as is. That's what I think is so powerful. We're not putting in the infrastructure. We're not doing anything. The only thing we do is buying it, and we understand how to buy it right, because we're looking at the current market, what's going on in the market. So we're basically able to control our margins based off of the actual market. So when we're actually coming into the acquisition side of it, we're buying at a certain cents on a dollar, and we're trying to let it go at a certain cents on the dollar as well.
Let me just paint this picture as the major contrast in house flippers and land flippers is that there's less competition in the land space, right? When we start talking raw numbers, when you're dealing with traditional real estate, right? In America, there's 1.5 realtors in America. There's about 500 million homes, right? Mm-hmm. So that's the pool that they have to play in. 1.5 million realtors and 500 million homes. In the land space, there is about 11 billion acres and about less than 10,000 land investors. So the competition, the margin is way less competition in the land space. And like he said, we don't have to touch nothing. We buy it and it sits until it's sold. It's land. I mean, what is it going to do? Get rained on?
Yeah, that's what it's very, very important when it comes to that, because we were looking definitely for a non-touch kind of business, and this provided everything that we were looking for as far as non-touch. And keep in mind, we haven't addressed this, but I'll say it now: we've never seen any of these properties in person. Everything besides the biggest deal.
Yeah.
All the technology and things that are available right now, you don't even have to visit the property. You can do everything from the comfort of your own home, which is very, very powerful. You can turn it up when you want to turn it up. You can turn it down when you want to turn it down. And that's the powerful thing about all the technology and everything that we can actually access now is unbelievable.
Yeah, that's pay within itself just by doing it from the house. That's a different type of pay, So what's the scaling? Like, you know, you hear about a billionaire real estate mogul or this and that. Like, what's the peak for this? Is it a root? Is it a ceiling, or could you take it as far as the biggest real estate person too, or does that this niche has a certain peak to it?
I think for us, there's no peak. The limited it's unlimited earning potential. It's just how far you want to go. Some people may want to jump in and just say, hey, I'm looking to make an extra 5,000 a month or extra 20,000 a month. Me and my partner, it's not necessarily what we're making a month, is how many deals that we can do in a month. You know, on average, like you said, our deals usually fluctuate anywhere between buy for 20, sell for 60, buy for 30, sell for 80. So we just try to cram in as many as deals that we can do in one calendar month, and then we'll repeat that the next following month. But our major goal right now has been, we've noticed that there's been a shortage in the market of people that looks like us. So as we've been moving around, we just started getting active on social media, and we've been touched by a lot of our people that's been asking about the land space, and the space is so new. So that's our focus now. We're just trying to educate our people. We're trying to get a lot of people to come into the program so we can teach them about how they could go about and buy some of this land and possibly change the trajectory of their future and their family's future as the same way that it is for us. We mentioned that we had 9-to-5 jobs. We don't have jobs anymore. We were able to leave those jobs in less than 3.5 years, and that was all due to the land space. So it's wide open. It's very lucrative. I just mentioned that there's 49 million acres up for grabs. Half of America is up for sale. I mean, you live in Texas. I don't got to tell you how wide open Texas is. It's so much land in Texas that's untapped. So,
yeah,
you know,
just pick a state. I'll tell you before we came on, like you can ride hours either way and see it. There's no shortage of sales. You know, so what, like, okay, when I ride by and I see signs for sale, I know y'all have a certain piece of the land that y'all look for. Y'all don't look for the ones with the realtor, contact the realtor, right? Y'all,
right.
What's your method to buying property,
right.
buying land?
Right. All our deals are off market deals. Like anything that's being sold primarily, if you see a sign for it, means it's retail price, and we don't do anything that's retail because there'll be no profit margin for us in the middle of that. So all our deals come from off market deals, and we usually find people. It's people usually that might have thought they were going to build on the land. They never did. They've inherited the property. We get a lot of trusts that come in, and the lawyers liquidating all the assets from the trust, and they say they just want to get it off of their books. There's so many different scenarios and situations of people that you run into, and they're willing to sell the property to you for less than what it's worth. And most of the times they even know that it's worth more money, but we provide such a smooth transaction, and we tell them when you're dealing with a realtor, you're dealing with possible sales. When you're dealing with us, you're talking to the buyer. So I say whether I'm going to buy or not and at what amount. So when you're dealing with a realtor, they're going to constantly bringing people through, but not necessarily you'll get a deal that way. It's just for us, we are the buyer. So it makes it a smooth, seamless transaction on our end.
Let me ask you, John. You go to your mailbox on a daily basis, right?
Yes, sir.
You ever had somebody send you some money through the mailbox?
Nah, bills come through there.
Bills, right? They're looking to get some money out of you, right?
Yeah.
That in contrast, that to what we do, we send offers to people. We send money to their mailbox, not physical money. We send offers, money in the form of an offer to buy their land. We have a specific method that we use to contact people, and it's a data-driven business, how we go about finding these people. I know what particular county at all times. I know how much land is available. I know the owners. I know the owner's address, and I know how to reach these people. And we put offers out to buy their land. So we call it mailbox money, and they get the offer. And how sweet is it that there's an asset that they're sitting on, not using? You know, they maybe had it and thought they were going to build on it. They maybe moved out of state. They maybe inherited it from their parents. And I offer them $40,000 for a piece of property. So what is worth $100,000? You got the buyer here, as Jay just stated. We're the buyers with the $40,000. And many times, a lot of times, more so than often, especially times of like what they're calling now a recession, people are looking to get some money for something that they're not using. So here comes my $40,000 offer. Even if they don't say, yes, I'll take that 40. Some people come back and say, well, could you do 45? We go and look at the land and say, potentially, I maybe can do 45. Then we start negotiating. And that's how we do deals. And we do a lot of deals.
Man, that is who. So let's talk about the course now. What inspired it, and then just tell people more information about it. Thanks to everybody in the chat. Billy OG, Sipping with Skinny, you know what I'm saying? Amazingly Beautiful. Thank y'all for they loving the content. They loving what y'all talking about. So let's talk about your courses and what inspired you to start doing this course.
Well, initially, just coming off of the jump here, we were never going to do one. That's just real. But we just started getting so many people that we talk to, homeowners, different things like that, especially people that look like us. They started telling us, y'all doing a disservice by not putting the information out there to other people. So primarily how we started hearing that over and over and over again. He starts, listen, go out there and teach somebody else. Now, we were just minding our business to the side, doing what we do. You know what I mean? And we're turning these deals over left and right. So finally, we just said, you know what? Let's go ahead and package something up and put it together so other people could have some use for it, because like my partner was saying, it's unlimited potential out there. There is no max on your actual potential, and us putting it together is not going to take any money out of our pocket. So at that point, it was like a no-brainer. Let's put together some information that other people can apply to their life and definitely change some situations.
Man, and that's big. And so when it comes to, because I know I was listening to y'all, I think I was listening to a live yesterday. Mm-hmm. Y'all was I know people can do the course, and what y'all do is kind of like once y'all teaching them game, they can end up partnering with y'all after they learn the game and go out. They can come back and bring y'all deals. How does that work?
Well, that works. Once you take, if you choose to take the leap of faith and get involved in the land business and follow the course, you should have the knowledge of going out and picking up a piece of land. And once you pick up that piece of land, we encourage you to exhaust all the funds that you have. And you're going to exhaust them once you're getting these deals coming in left and right. You're not going to have enough money, right? And at that point, we become your funder. You can bring a deal to us. We will become your funder. We will fund your deal, providing that it's a good deal. And it should be a good deal if you follow the course and that we laid out, the plan that we laid out to go about finding the deal. And we'll fund that deal. That's called a JV agreement. We'll go 50-50 on the deal. So if you find a $20,000 piece of property and we can sell it back for 50, that's 30,000 on the table. We'll bust it down. I'll get my 20 back, and then the 30 that's on the table, you take 15 and we'll take 15. That is what you call an infinite return, because you didn't put any money out of your pocket inside of that deal.
And to add something else, we would be assuming all the risk at that point. When you don't have any money inside the deal, all the risk is on us, whether we're going to, that's why we're going to take a look at the deal, vet the deal, make sure it's viable. We have this concept that I actually got from a book. It's called triangular believability, which means that we're going to go ahead and touch 3 points, which is our opinion, and we're going to leverage the opinions of 2 other brokers inside of that area just to make sure that all of those 3 points meet.
That's big, man, and that's making that a part of like a community that you can be a part of. So it ain't just come and learn, and we can actually learn. You can get some game, and then we can build it together. We can, what I'm saying, that's another level of just learning, because a lot of times you just pay for something, somebody teach you, and then you out on your own to do it.
So
I mean, we do it all the time. We have several investors that we partner with. Sometimes we put our own money up, and at other times when we call that our working capital. We like to keep X amount of money working for us, to keep the lights on. But all the time we partner and we do JV deals with our investors.
Sure.
And that's the other thing about we were talking about environment, right? When we first got involved in the land space, that was one of our concerns. Where we gonna get money from to buy these deals from?
Because we were only coming in at a certain amount. So we was like, once we exhaust this money, how are we gonna keep on going? I hope we don't have to wait until we sell these in order to keep on playing the game. So that's what, like my partner was saying, access to capital is something that is completely crazy, because coming from where we come from, we're not used to nobody just saying like, yo, I'll give you the money for X, Y, and Z. So when we heard it, it was almost like, they're lying. You know what I mean? It's almost like they're lying, until we experienced it over and over and over again and said, oh, this is real. So this is how it really goes. When you come from certain places, it doesn't even appear real to you. It's like smoke and mirrors, because it doesn't take place in your normal environment. You know what I mean?
and that's why I was excited for y'all to agree to do this interview, especially like in Texas, the culture and stuff. Like what I'm doing is nothing new in Atlanta. It's nothing new in the cities. Like, but with the part of Texas where I'm from, like all this podcasting, all this information, all this different ways of us that we can build wealth. Even though to the world it seems like everybody should be on there, where I'm from, it's still everybody's still waking up, getting that job, getting that manufacturing job, getting that fast food job, and the mindset having switched to, okay, I can take this money and really change my family's life. Like that part, like we're still decades behind in that the mindset. You know, it's sprinkles of, especially, you know, Killeen is right up the street, but Killeen is a little bit further than us because that's military base. So people come from everywhere there. You know what I'm saying? But just the normal Central Texan is really not. And we right up the street from Austin, but we still so far from this type of mindset. That's why I was just once again, I appreciate y'all coming on to give this game.
I tell you, we got people that we're affiliated with that's don't even live in the country that's flipping land in the United States.
Yeah.
So you can be from wherever you're from. Just pick up the skill set. You know, acquire the knowledge. Once you have the knowledge, you can buy land in any state in America once you know how to do it.
Right. And definitely the person that we the people that we learn from definitely qualify to teach, because their net worth is probably about 350 million by now. So they was definitely qualified to teach us a couple of things, especially coming from where we from. You know, the average person, I'm not saying average person may make $40,000-$50,000 a year. You know, that's normal to do in one deal. You could take the year off if you wanted to, depending on how you want to move your business. You know what I mean? It's just up to you. That's not our mentality. We got a dog kind of concept. We don't know how to stop. It's 7 days a week. It's on from the morning to night. We got to take a little time off, you know, family, kids, you know, ladies, stuff like that. But outside of that, we don't know how to stop. We got a little sickness, you know. We got a little sickness, a little bit.
But that's a good thing. And I heard what y'all was saying on once again, you know, like I was going over a lot of your old videos, and I was hearing you like, if all you want to make is 5,000 a month, that's on you. But the power is in you got that skill to be able to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like you might only want to make a little change, and then you might get fired next month, and then hold on, this skill that you obtain in this community that you're a part of. Now it's more of a necessity than you thought. So it's really just, this is an extra skill set that we need to understand and learn. And that's the way I teach it to my people. You know what I'm saying? Like I got a course that I'm putting together called Fast Food to Wealth, just showing that we can start at a fast food job and build wealth. And these are one of those lanes that you can have a fast food job. You know what I'm saying? You can take your little checks, get inside a course like this, get in a community like this, and before you know it, you done took a $200, $300, $400 check and flipped it into tens of thousands of dollars. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's what I mean when I was building that course, Fast Food to Wealth. These are the type of revenue when people think that no, I can't do that. I could be no land flipper making 6 figures a year, and then they meet guys like you, like, yeah, this is every day. This is normal. This is a normal life in this world. You know what I'm
saying? See. Like we listened to a podcast the other day, and the guy was saying that, you know, sometimes people frown so much on their jobs and not realizing that their jobs, he was saying, that is their business partner. Yes. Something has to fuel and fund your vision to where you're trying to get to. So, you know, it's just how we utilize the jobs, right? So whatever amount that you're making, right? And if there's a course, right? We're putting the curriculum together right now to show people. We have one curriculum, that's our mid-range price program, right? A lot of people in the Black community, and we're new to the space, and land is so new to the space. A lot of people interested, but then when they see the price, a lot of people say, you know, I don't know about the price. So what we said is, okay, cool. We'll make an adjustment. We'll put another program together for you, and we'll teach you how to target those tax deeds, those $50 buys, those $100, $150 buys. That'll be at a less denomination, right? So if you're on your job and you're making whatever you make a week, if that program is going to cost you $500, if you could put whatever you could put, $20. I did a whole video about this too. Start to save some money. I personally, me myself, I still do it to this day. I have it on automation in my bank. You can set it up right in your bank account. You can automate your bank to move from your checking to your savings, X amount of dollars, 7 days a week, automated. I save, you know, about $50 a day. I move it from my checking to my savings. If you just do $10 a day, $10 a day will give you about $3,500 in 1 year. $20 a day will give you about a little over $7,000 in 1 year. Now, after, and for a $500 cost, that only would take you a few weeks. So it's just us starting to like consciously being aware of what we're doing, because you spend more than 10 hours a day in your daily living on your car expenses, your gas, your food, your entertainment. Find a way to put $5 to $10 a day away to the side. You'll be able to take a course, even if it's not a high ticket course. Come buy this land program over here for $500. Go start buying you some tax deeds that you could buy for $50 to $100. You could be able to sell them back for $500 to $800 a flip. And that's how you start to build up the capital and come up the ranks. We started off with one deal. Our first tax deed was what we started off from. One turned to 5. 5 turned into 15. 15 turned into 30. We didn't just come in the game and ironically got to a multi-million-dollar property. It just doesn't happen like that. It's nothing that we found that you can just get involved in, and that vehicle goes that fast all the way to the top. There's some isolated incidents, but God bless those that was fortunate enough to have those incidents happening to them. But for the most of us, it's going to be a grind to the top.
Yeah, for sure. You're gonna have to put in some work. I mean, it's like anything else, a new skill set that you're learning. And he can attest to this. When we first started learning this stuff, we used to be up so long on these things and on these lists, we were falling asleep at the computer, almost breaking the computer with our head. You know what I mean? But that's the kind of hunger that we had to change the situation. And if anybody wants to, I heard something real good on the podcast. They said, we got to stop letting ourselves off the hook. And they said, if you have children, we have children, and it's work for us. The minute you decide to slack off or do anything that opposes what you initially set out to do, you have to go and look your baby in the eye and tell them in their face that today I didn't choose you. And that right there will put a whole nother monster behind you. It's just psychological stuff. Some people need some kind of engine behind them. Us, we learn better the hard way. I learn from the pampering way. If the language is a little different, I learn by the rough way, the hard way. You know what I mean? As far as my learning type, some people may need to be pampered a little bit more. Oh, it's going to be all right. I've heard a lot of times, better be careful of people who comfort you inside your comfort zone. You better be real careful about that, because it's dangerous. Because it's not okay. You are sacrificing everybody in your lineage. And I just one more thing I wanted to add to that, as far as our legacies, right? They said right now in your current situation, you're making decisions for your grandchildren and they're not even here. Because the mentality that we give to the children is going to be the same mentality that's passed down to our grandchildren, whether we believe it or not.
No, it is. Like I said, I deal with you, and that's what people always say, well, that's bad kids. And I say, when I see a kid that's acting out, the first thing I think about is his environment. I don't think it is a bad kid, but that just comes from me dealing with kids so much, and me, I'm looking at, okay, how's the household? He's telling a lot just by the way he or she is acting. They're telling their everyday life, what they see, their environment they're in, that and that. So, and that's why this is like my whole thing, right? Like I was telling you before we got on, I raise chickens, I got eggs sitting here right now. You know what I'm saying? We got bees, I got the garden. But my whole thing is we got to be able to feed ourselves, house ourselves, clothe ourselves, educate ourselves, be able to employ ourselves, and then be able to protect it. So I got a thrift business. Soon I get off with here, I'm going to my thrift store. So this is my everyday life, is part of those 5 things that we have to do as a community. A lot of people say, well, you're doing a lot. I'm like, no, this is survival. If you're gonna say forget this, or you don't like the system, or you don't like the schools, we got to create these things. We can't sit back and complain about these things. You know what I'm saying? So what y'all are doing with the land buying, because actually I'm gonna tap in with y'all, because I wanna flip some land, but I ain't gonna lie, I want to be able to come across some land and hold it too.
For sure. Yeah. We're definitely looking into finding the right pieces in order for us to cultivate some different things on as well too. As soon as we do, we're gonna hold it as well. So for the person that's just coming in and maybe their funds aren't all the way together, they might need to flip a couple of land pieces and get themselves sturdy first, and then you go ahead and make those decisions, because that land you can also make it profitable through agriculture, through lavender, growing all different kind of things, and that changes your taxes as well too. So it's just a lot of different things that it gives you, just a lot of different ways that you can go. That's all.
So I seen y'all was with the guy 19 Keys, man. How did y'all tap in with him? How what's that connection about? Are y'all teaming up, or is that what do y'all got something playing with him, or how do y'all what's that relationship like?
Well, 19 Keys is the founder of BWO. BWO is a program where they offer several things where they're teaching the people. He offers mental engineering, and he brought in some teachers to come in and offer his students other things. And we come into play in the financial department where they'll be learning how to about the cryptocurrency space. They'll be learning about Web3. They'll be learning about stocks, bonds, and we handle the land side of it.
Okay, that's big, man. So and that's what I was gonna ask you because I know y'all got the curriculum coming. So do y'all look at this as like a school? Like I know this is what y'all flip land as how y'all provide for y'allselves.
Mm-hmm.
Do y'all have a vision of like a school, or do y'all just want to do curriculums and maybe partner up like you're doing with like what do y'all envision? What's the next 5-year plan for the ACRE boys? What y'all looking at?
I see it as we want to show as many of our people how to start their own business, because that's really what we're teaching you, how to go out and start your own business.
Yeah.
It'll be a group that I see highly successful and that we can all tap into that group and lean on each other. I don't want to be the smartest guy in the room. I want to be able to teach some other people so they can go out and tell me about an area. I don't know about Texas. So if you came into my community, I can show you the skill set to go out and how to get it for a good price. But there's certain things that I could possibly never know about Texas, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like climate, certain cities, certain over here on this side, it's a little more wet, get a little more damp on this side than it does on that side. So I want the group to be powerful enough so we have enough investors in all states. It helps me out tremendously. Look, I got Tony over in Texas. Anybody looking to do something in Texas, holla at Tony. I got such and such in Florida. Anybody looking to do something over there, holla at him. They hold down Florida. They could tell you all about those deals over there. I could tell you all about where I'm doing deals at. I haven't touched all 50 states. I've touched quite a few, but clearly I haven't touched all 50. Yeah. So we're just trying to grow the community. You will be your own entity and you will be your own business. You'll have file your own taxes at the end of the year, and we'll tap in with each other. We'll lean on each other. As of now, as it grows, we'll be the main funders, because until other people get their weight up, you'll have the alternative. Once you become and start making some money, people might pass on deals. I may pass on a deal and I may say, look, I don't know. Certain deals I don't take these days. Like if I'm only making, 5,000 or 6,000 on a deal, I pass on those deals. But it may be somebody else that say, I'll take that deal. And then my advice at that point would say, well, put it in the group chat or on the Discord, because that's where most of our students are on the Discord. Follow us on the Discord too. It's free to get involved in there. You can join us there.
Because I read, I think I signed up for it last night or yesterday or something. So I think I'm a part. I sent my email and all this. So I think I'm a part. I don't know. I'm kind of new to this stuff, so I don't know exactly. I'm learning.
Check your email. I think an email went out this morning. If you signed up last night, and it'll give you the exact link, and you'll be in there. And once you get in there, just utilize the space. Ask as many questions that you feel free. And when you're ready to take that jump and come on into the actual program, that'll be a private member room to where we talk in detail about the deals. But the free Discord, just come and learn some free games. Ask whatever you like to ask. Somebody will answer. If it's not us directly, you'll get an answer. And hopefully you like what you hear and like what you see. And we'll love to have you on the inside of the space.
Yeah, for sure.
It's funny that you had just said that, because when I ran across you and I was going through everything y'all do, I'm like, man, if I link up with these boys, I'm out here in Texas, man. Ain't no telling what I could be out, because y'all get kept stressing rural area. I'm like, that's all I'm around. You know what I'm saying? That's it.
That's our bread and butter right there. The rural areas, outside of the city limits, different things like that, where there's no zoning, stuff like that. That's our bread and butter. Rural. We have done some, densely populated places like inside of cities, but those are more like lots that we were looking to sell to like a builder, you know what I mean, or something like that. But the rural vacant land, that's the bread and butter. That's our bread and butter for sure.
I think a lot of people, when they hear about the land flips, that's why we call it the shiny space. Even with the land, first thing that comes to people's mind is they think of the shiny. right? Let's stay away from the shiny. There is a lot of money in the shiny space, but there's a lot of competition in the shiny space. So if you want to play in the shiny space, you need to be an experienced investor. The shiny space is going to cost you a little more than the rural space. We get in the rural space, we target deals that we getting for 25% on the dollar. In the shiny space, that's going to potentially double and triple to get involved in that space. Now, it could be done. A deal is a deal, and whatever you deem to be a deal, you know, you see that value. But I can tell you for sure that in the rural community, these are the areas that you're going to find people that's sitting on their land and their assets that they're not utilizing. So that's why there's your niche right there is the rural areas.
And when we're talking about like profit margin, right? You know, you talk about our margins on these deals at 80, 90, 100%, sometimes over. In the densely populated places, is rarely is it going to have that kind of profit margin, because pretty much people know what they have, and on top of knowing what they have, they know what things are selling for. So inside of those markets, they're cool. Like you said, there's deals to be done, but the rural land is better. A lot less restrictions and guidelines, rules as far as building, zoning, and all of that kind of stuff. So it's just very, very attractive when it comes to an investment standpoint.
Man, say, and I like I said, I want to respect y'all time, and I don't gonna hold y'all too much longer. But I do want to go over a crazy story that I was hearing y'all talk about the land y'all was trying to sell, and I guess and I understand that, because in Texas, there's some people that still fighting for their land. You pull up on their land trying to sell it, they'll pull out all kind of stuff. So how did tell people about that story? How it ended? I was just watching that about 5 this morning, man. You know?
Okay.
Well, I think you're talking about.
Well, you said the third. I think the third person bought it, but the first two ran away with a gun or something.
Right.
No. So we had
get some funny little stories like this.
So, you know, sometimes you run across difficult properties that definitely a great buy. I think we bought it for I don't remember the numbers. I think it was a buy for 9. We sold for 28, something like that. Something like that. And the property, when we bought it, it was surrounded by family-owned land. Now, that's one thing that you have to be careful with. That's what we learned from that deal. You have to be careful when you're buying a property and it's surrounded by family-owned land. So the land in the front was owned by one particular cousin in the family. The land to the west of it, the land to the east, and the land in back of it was owned by other people of the family. They didn't want that family member to sell the land. She chose as an individual to sell her land.
She had the right to.
She had the right to. So we bought that land, which effectively landlocked the owner in the back.
Right.
So he was pissed because now I don't have access to get to my land. Legally, you can't be landlocked. No land can be legally landlocked, but there's a court proceeding. There's a whole process to go through to get, you know, things straightened out on deed, right? So we put it up for sale for 30,000 or 32 or whatever. I don't know the exact listing price, but we put it up for sale and we had a buyer come through, and the buyer fell in love with the land. And when he went out there to go see the land, they bum rushed him. They pulled out guns. No, this land is not for sale. And if you step another foot on here, we'll blow your head away. Now, mind you, this is out in rural area of Mississippi. It's just out there. Even if the police come, it'll be a while. You'll be dead by the time they get there. So he backed off the deal. Another buyer came, cash buyer. He wanted to buy it outright. He was looking to build a RV park?
Yeah, RV
park. A trailer home park. He was looking to build a trailer home park on the land, and he was excited about the land. And when he went to go see the land, they ran him down and said, no, this land is no good. It floods and all kind of things. And finally, you know, after it's sitting on the market a little longer than, well, it sat on the market because we were in contract with 2 other people in, you know, 30, 40 days in contract, ready to close. And they kept backing out towards the end. So the last guy, he came and he said to our realtor, he said, well, listen, just give it to me straight. Why does this deal keep falling through? And why do people keep backing off on the deal? And she said, well, really, because the neighbors are assholes and they keep running everybody away. And he said, oh, shit. I ain't worried about that problem. He was the actual police officer
Oh, okay.
Actually gave the class on getting your gun license in that area.
Oh, okay.
So he said,
ball game now, yeah.
Yeah. It's one of those kind of things when energy meet energy. And, you know, somebody energy gonna win.
Yeah. So he said, "Oh, I ain't worried about him running me off the land.
Let me get that land. Let me go and get that."
Yeah, for sure.
His exact words was, he said, "Yeah, I got my 40 on me."
So let me knock on this door immediately and set some boundaries. Yeah.
For real, that's crazy, man. But yeah, I understand. There's some people like that don't even own it and have that same energy. Like, you don't even own this land no more, but they've been there so long, they feel like they do.
They feel like it, right?
So what happened was too, once they found out that we had bought it, because they found our listing on Marketplace and Facebook. They did their homework on us. They found out it was 2 guys from New York. The property's in Mississippi. They figured they can do whatever they wanted to do.
Yeah.
And they did it for a certain amount of time, but you know,
that's
had to find the right person.
And on that property, y'all never had to go to Mississippi, never had to do anything.
The only one that we've ever had any interest in actually seeing in person was the big boy. Other than that, I could do it right from my computer. I don't have to be anywhere.
Where was that one at? That's in where?
That's in Magnolia, Mississippi. The big boy.
Yeah, the one y'all got now for the 7.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's in Magnolia, Mississippi. Yep.
Man, I salute y'all, man. That's big, man. I could be here all day with y'all, man. But as we wrap up, I want y'all to tell everybody where do y'all have a YouTube page too, or y'all don't do YouTube? Y'all just on?
No, we just started a YouTube page, and it's all gonna be under ACRE Boys. So it'll be YouTube /ACRE Boys. We just started that channel. Please tap in there. Follow us on. We're most busy at this point on Instagram. We just TikTok. We just before we leave, I just want to say,
ain't no rush. Hey, get it out, man. Get it out.
No, whatever you're doing, right? Just go hard with whatever you're doing, whatever space that you're in. ACRE Boys, as we stated, we were just minding our business and having success in our business. We've only been on social media actively for the past 3.5 months. It's been a huge a big splash. It's been a nice reception. I'm grateful for that. But even with social media, right? It was told to us, like, look, if you guys want to get this out to the people and get it out to the people effectively, you're going to have to double up on your content, right? And just like you, Tone, I wasn't so thrilled about getting behind a camera.
At all.
So, and him, you know, I had some prior experience from getting behind camera from the music business. He never wanted to do social media. He had a social media page with no posts on it.
Yeah. So he tells me we got to get in front of a camera. I immediately, for what?
That's my reaction. That's my reaction too.
Yeah. So, you know, nowadays we're doing, 2 and 3 days of posts, and we do 2 and 3. We definitely do 2 days, 2 posts per day, 7 days a week. And if you want something to happen, you have to get really busy. You have to get active. And that's the only way the machine moves. And I'm sure we all can attest to that in whatever industry that we're in. Whatever we want, people, we have to go hard for it. And, my mother told me, how do you know when you're ready to just take that leap? And her answer was simply when you had enough. So you'll know when you had enough. When you fed up of getting the same results that you've been getting, then you'll make a change. And in closing, I do encourage you to tap in with the ACRE Boys. I do encourage you, if you have any interest in learning about the land space, come get it from us. If it's not from us, you can try to get it from whomever you get it from. If you find a deal, bring it to me. We'll fund it if you don't have the money. So no hard feelings if you don't take my course. Go find a deal. Go learn it from somebody else. But if you need funding, once you find the deal, I'll be happy to fund the deal.
Yeah, for sure. Because we're definitely not into the selling thing. We're not into pushing people to do things they don't want to do. That's not us. Because we was doing all right without none of this. You know what I mean? So we was doing all right. You know what I mean?
But like from where I come from and what I do every day, I want to say I appreciate it, because you're right. You don't have to do that, and you can still take care of your family and still do what you need to do without this. Of course, getting to the more people would enhance what you're doing, but even if you didn't have it, you can still do it. You know what I'm saying? And that's what people need to understand. I hate when people be like, we're selling stuff. McDonald's is $1 billion company, and you're going to see 1,000 commercials every day. They try to make us feel bad for selling our knowledge or our game or to get into big rooms, you're gonna have to pay some bread. And what y'all talk about 2,000, they ain't gonna get you as a bell door.
We paid way more than 2,000.
We paid a lot.
Yeah,
we paid a lot with traveling and mentors, and one of the guys we learned from, his fee was $700 an hour.
Yeah.
That's what he charged.
Yeah,
it's either pay it or go learn it from somebody else.
Yeah,
and my McDonald's story is when you hear that, y'all think they're selling burgers. McDonald's owns 47,000 acres.
That's what their money is. They
real estate.
Their real wealth is in all the properties that they own. You know what I'm saying?
Prime time properties. Prime time. Yeah.
And now that I got that on my mind, before I let y'all out of here, because I want to know this personally. When it comes to like them cul-de-sac communities and stuff, like, right? You know, like where they building all the houses on, the homes on and everything. And I was told like about a year ago, well, the real money is the person that owns the land. So is that separate from the person that builds the house on the land, or are they still? Yes. So that's two different owners?
Two different entities.
So
you have to buy the land first.
So the land person, they just automatically get paid, and their value go up, everything, and then you're dealing with the banks and mortgages for the house, but the land is still different from the house itself, right?
So when you, as a builder, when you're looking to build a community or a subdivision, the first thing you have to target is land, and that's where us as land investors come into play at. Once they acquire the land from us, they're the landowners, and they can do whatever they want to do with it, and they can go and get a mortgage and whatever kind of funding they need to build whatever kind of infrastructure that they're looking to build. But the land absolutely comes first.
And a lot of times in those instances, what we're getting rid of it for, we're making what they're making after they build, and we ain't do nothing.
Yeah. You didn't put in all the work, didn't do all the building and everything.
None of that. No 100-man crews, nothing like that.
And I guess the way y'all get off on it so fast, y'all don't even get into like the rights of like the airways, the mineral rights. Y'all don't get into all that. Y'all buy and flip, and the other people, whoever want to build on that, go through all that.
No. It's when we pick up any piece of land, if it's mineral rights involved, it's usually negotiated, whether it's coming with the sale or not. Mineral rights are definitely valuable, and it helps us when we're looking at the retail sale of things. Because if we can offer mineral rights with a sale, that makes the land more valuable, as well as timber value as well, which is a whole nother topic. The timber value, the mineral rights value, those are things that adds value to your sale.
Man, but this, like I said, we can go on all day with it, but I want everybody that was in the chat that's throwing the flames and everything, go follow these brothers. I'm new to them too, so I've been doing my research. I've been going back. Y'all might have seen some likes. I've been going down the timeline. You know what I'm saying? Because this is so much. This is so valuable. And when I was thinking, like when you had our set, I was telling myself last night, I'm like, man, if I add this to what I'm doing, you know what I'm saying? Like this will help me go to a whole nother level. So I'm definitely personally gonna be tapping in with y'all. Personally want to build with y'all, like and the stuff I do. Anything that y'all got coming out, let me know on the Wealth is Gangsta on the YouTube, on the IG channel or whatever. I will bring y'all back on, saying periodically or whatever, the updates of what's going on. Just anything I can help push the movement, as well as I want to be a part. I'm gonna be a part of. I'm gonna pay my way to be a part of it. And I want to build with y'all, man. So I appreciate what y'all do. I know y'all got a busy day. Any last words on our way out?
Yeah, follow us at the ACRE Boys. Jump in that free Discord. Ain't nothing better than free. Jump in there, ask any questions that you may have. If you're interested in the land space, that is the place to get whatever information that you can get for free. If you're ready to take the leap and come and just start buying some land and learning that game, you can learn in there. We have the link to where the program is at, and that's where all the things that we speak about on the daily will be in that Discord chat.
And right now, I almost forgot, right now, because of the Black Friday sale and Cyber Monday and everything, right now, if you use the coupon code Black Friday, it'll take 50% off your purchase.
Oh man, that's a steal. Now you just giving it away. Now it went from free game to extra free game.
I mean, really, man, we want to see us in the space. We want to see our people in the space. I'm involved in the space, so we deal with it on a daily basis, and out of the 5 years that we've been involved, we maybe ran across like what, maybe 3 of us, maybe 3 of us
at most.
You know what I mean?
Everybody else is, everybody else is other
races
of another, and I met some solid, real good people of those other races too, but we're just underrepresented. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, it's like that in every field. We are anything that got to do with the way this country really runs and really where all the real wealth at, like entertainment, sports. We shine in that, and that's one thing. That's the reason I started the CEO Youth League, because I'm like, it's 1,000 Pop Warner football, basketball, but who teaches these kids entrepreneurship, business? So I started the CEO Youth League just to teach nothing but kids about finances, about, you know what I'm saying? But and like you say, it's a job, because that's not normally cool in our communities. But I got to get creative and make it and find the ways to make it cool. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and that's why sometimes it might be necessary for us to have on a Jordan or maybe have a certain kind of car, because without that, a lot of times you're not going to catch the attention of them. That's how sometimes you're going to grab the youth. Like, what I'm doing, I got the same thing he got. I'm just as cool as him.
So when we started teaching, right, we went back and forth, and a few people were saying, why y'all got to wear the ball caps all the time and give y'all this urban look, and maybe I want to target business guys. And we chose to stick with the ball caps so people can see that we look just like you. We're cut from the same cloth. Only difference is we just chose to do something different in another direction. And that's the main reason why we always wear the ball cap, so we can relate to people that look like us. Now, my knowledge base, the ball cap don't have nothing to do with the knowledge base, because I can talk land with the best of them at this point.
Yeah. And it's important for the youth I see. They need to, like, okay, now when they see y'all, I can flip land. Look at that. That's the homies right there. You know what I'm saying? Like, when they see me, I'm out there with chickens. I'm out there in the garden and stuff. They don't normally see the face like this, messing with chickens and garden and talking like this is like, you know what I'm saying? Jamming my Ice Cube or something in the background, letting them know this the new fly, this the new trend, this the new. And all we doing is we taking that same energy, we just making it positive. Like I tell people all the time, we don't have to be choir boys and all this to be positive and good for our community. And a lot of people, like, no against no religion or anything, whatever you is, but you don't have to be positive for your people, and you don't have to be in a church to do that. You know what I'm saying? Because I know when I was young, they told me I had to go to church, so I rebelled from it. You know what I'm saying? I thought that's the only positive I could be. And I'm like, no, that's great to be in that if you want to, but you could be the everyday guy that sits back, chill, you know what I'm saying, cool cat, whatever you want to be, and still be positive. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's the image I try to give off, because a lot of these kids think if I'm not this way that they present it on TV, I can't be there. And I'm like, nah, you can be there, throw your hat on backwards, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, whatever. As long as I know at the end of the day, we trying to build up our community, and we got great intentions, and we got a great, like I tell people, everybody has a motive. Just make sure your motive is pure. Like, when I reached out to y'all, I had a motive to get y'all to come on the, you know what I'm saying? But it was a pure motive because y'all message I wanted to get out. So there's nothing wrong with a motive. Just make sure it's a good-hearted, pure motive, and we good. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I lead with all these youth and trying to, as we trying to build our community. And we all new to this. We wasn't born into money. We wasn't born into the knowledge. So we're like first generations of trying to do a podcast, of trying to be a billionaire, trying to be a millionaire, trying to get into trust. My mama didn't know nothing about no. I talked to her now. She still don't know nothing about this stuff. You know what I'm saying? So it's important that we lean on each other, but we help build each other. Like, when I knew y'all was on the East Coast, I'm like, okay, we got to spread this to the South, because we were all land it. Why y'all should be the biggest name from Texas to like Florida, because this is where all the land is for sale.
And Texas is one of the biggest states. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So for y'all doing what y'all doing, and Texas don't know about y'all, that don't even make sense. You know what I'm saying? So when I seen it, I just had to do it. So I once again, I appreciate y'all for agreeing to do it, and I look forward to building with y'all. I'm gonna stay in contact, and like I said, I'm already part of the Discord, and I'm gonna be joining shortly to become a part of the community, so I can continue to build with y'all, man. So
sure, definitely appreciate you having us, for sure,
man. Salute y'all, man. So this is another episode of Wealth is Gangster. I appreciate them. I know I'm gonna be bringing them back on, man. I don't want to hold them too long, and I got to get to the thrift store too. I think I got a couple deliveries to make. You know what I'm saying? I'll be tapping back in with y'all, man.
Yes, sir.
Anchor Boys with 2 Z's on all platforms. Go follow them. Go get behind the movement, man. I appreciate y'all, good brothers, and I'll be hitting y'all on Instagram, man, and staying in contact with y'all and make sure we build from this conversation.
100%.
Yes, sir.
100%.
All right, man.
All right, man. Peace and love.
Yes, sir.